sis, what's up? It's Hope, and I'm here to bring you my week 22 pregnancy update. Week 22 has been a little crazy with Andy being out of town last week and just trying to get back into the swing of things. It's just been really crazy with the house and everything. So I wanted to make sure and log on real quick and give y'all a week 22 update. According to my app, the baby is the size of a coconut this week, which we all know is probably not the case because he's going to be so big. If you haven't seen any of my other pregnancy updates, the baby's measuring at least 2 weeks ahead. My belly's measuring 2 weeks ahead. So we are going to have probably a big baby, which I'm trying to be okay with. I'm just joking. I'll be excited no matter how much he weighs. But so I'm super excited about going to my appointment in a couple weeks to be able to see how big he is and to also be able to see if for sure he is a he. I talked about in my last video that the ultrasound photo that the tech gave us to confirm gender was not really a confirmation at all, and so I am really nervous about that, but we'll have to see what happens. I'm excited just to see the ultrasound, to see him and make sure everything's okay, and I'm just really excited for that. So week 22, like I said, it's just been a crazy week with the house, trying to get the house put back together. We are also almost done with all of our sheetrock. We just got the new windows in, so we're just trying to move right along to get the house done. We're hoping and praying that it is done by June, the beginning of June anyway. That's like worst case scenario. We're really trying to get it done before then. And so that's kind of an update on the house. In reference to sleeping and just normal pregnancy questions, I'm sleeping fine. The only thing, I'm not really uncomfortable at this point. The only thing really is that I'm so incredibly thirsty, and I've been this way probably since week 17 or 18. Just super thirsty all of the time, and I wake up in the middle of the night 2 or 3 times a night just to get a drink of water. I don't think I've drank this much water in my entire life, but it's all I drink. I haven't had caffeine since before the transfer, so I just drink water, which is a good thing, but also the excessive thirst really worries me. And so I've checked in with my doctor a couple of times. The only reason it worries me is because I know that that's a symptom of diabetes. And so I definitely don't want to have gestational diabetes during my pregnancy. So she seemed to think that it was normal to have excessive thirst during the second trimester specifically, just with everything happening in my body and just especially with me retaining so much fluid. She seemed to think that it was normal, but I go like March 15th, I think, is when I go for the actual test, the sugar test, to be able to see if my body is processing sugar like it needs to, and to see if I'll have to start checking my blood sugars and all of that. I'm hoping and praying for good news for that, but it has definitely been a concern from when it started happening, for sure, because I just am so thirsty all of the time. So good news is I'm drinking a ton of water. I'm not having issues with getting water in at all. But it's just that's really kind of been the only thing that wakes me up in the middle of the night, is I'm so thirsty. So probably 2 or 3 times a night, I'll get up and get something to drink, or I have like a Yeti cup next to the bed, and I'll just have ice and water in it, and I'll just drink on that. But other than that, I'm not uncomfortable. I do sleep obviously on my sides. I favor the right side more than the left. I'm not sure if that's important information or not. When we were looking at the old wives' tales for the gender reveal, my sister had me answer all the questions. That was one of the questions to determine gender, if you sleep on your right or your left side, which I thought was really interesting. Of course, all of those are old wives' tales. It ended up being like a tie in reference to the questions she asked me, so it didn't really help at all anyway. But other than that, sleeping is fine. I don't have any issues with that yet. I know that the uncomfortableness is coming. I know that there's going to be some sleepless nights coming, preparing for baby to come, but I am super excited about that. I'm not nervous or anxious about it. It is what it is. I've just been praying for these moments for my entire life, and so I'm just so excited to be able to experience them. In reference to feeling the baby move, I'm still not feeling him move a lot. I'm not. I carry a lot of excess weight in my stomach anyway, and so I don't know if that's why, or I haven't really had any conversations with my doctor about placement of placenta or anything. It seems like everything is normal. So, she said because it's my first baby and I don't really know what to look for, that could be why. I could be feeling him, but just not know that that's him moving. So I'm excited to have moments where I know for sure that that's him moving, and to be able to feel that and know what it feels like. And I'm sure those will be moments I just cherish forever. So I'm really excited to be able to experience that. Yeah, so I wanted to just give y'all an update. I guess I wanted to kind of touch base on this. I haven't really talked about this in my pregnancy updates because I'm still trying to be okay with just saying that word, because I'm so grateful and I'm so excited, is weight gain. I have struggled with that from the very, very beginning. As a VSG patient and as someone who lost 150 pounds, it has been such a stressful part of this process, more surprisingly than I thought it would be, honestly. I didn't feel like I would focus a lot on weight gain during this experience, and it has been a stressor from the very, very beginning. And what's really kind of mentally been hard is just all of the excess fluid. Like, I don't know what the number is on the scale and if it's an actual real number, or if it's just all this fluid my body is just retaining, like in my face and my hands. I haven't been able to wear my real wedding band since probably week 14. Y'all know my feet and ankles are swollen really bad, and I feel it kind of up into my legs now. So fingers crossed, hoping and praying that whenever I have him, I'll lose a lot of that fluid too. But I am just honestly trying not to weigh myself anymore. It was really, really, really affecting me negatively in the very beginning, just because the number just kept going up and up, and I would eat like I should, protein first, like a regular VSG patient should, making sure I was getting enough calories, of course, for the baby as well, but not overeating, not going crazy with sugar and just crap food, and the numbers were still going up. And so I had a long conversation with my doctor about it, and she said at this point we really just need to focus on healthy baby, which I completely agree with, don't get me wrong. But I mean, if you're a weight loss surgery patient or you've been on this health journey, or you've lost a bunch of weight, obviously you don't want to go back to the person you were before. You don't want to put all of that weight back on. And so mentally, that's been the hardest part for me, is just struggling with the number on the scale and like not feeling myself, having all this extra weight on me. I don't know, it's affected me a lot more than I thought it would, because it's come on so fast, and I just haven't had the time to really just kind of sit back and just kind of process it and be okay with it, because I'm not. But obviously I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get a healthy baby here. Right now my body is doing everything it can to grow this amazing little miracle, and that's what I'm choosing to focus on. So in reference to weight gain, I honestly couldn't tell you how much I have gained. Right at this point, I'm only weighing at the doctor and I'm looking away, because like I said, my doctor said, it's really just time to focus on healthy baby and just continue doing what I'm doing with my eating and not overeating. And, I still have a lot of restriction in reference to my gastric sleeve, but of course I can eat a lot more than I did in the very beginning. But just being conscious of that and making, good decisions, and just making sure that I'm getting enough food in. Of course, I'm taking a prenatal vitamin and calcium and vitamin D, and I'm making sure I'm taking my vitamins every day. But other than that, like that's been like the hardest part so far. The biggest struggle for me for sure has been the weight gain or the fluid retention that's caused that number on the scale to not be where I want it to be. So I'm hoping and praying, like I said, after I have him, that I lose a ton of fluid, and it just really, really kind of helps me get back on track with where I want to be in reference to weight. I haven't really talked about this in other videos as well, but from the very beginning, the minute we got our positive beta pregnancy test, my thyroid kind of went crazy. And I've never been on thyroid medicine before. I've never had an issue with my thyroid, but I've been on medication for my thyroid since the very, very beginning of this pregnancy. And so that's something that's been feeling different, and I'm not sure if that's affecting weight gain at all or not. I'm not sure. But it's something that we want to make sure that my levels stay normal. And so I do take one pill every day for my thyroid, and that'll be something I take the entire length of the pregnancy. So I haven't talked about that, but it was just something with my levels being off. So I'm just trying to cover everything. The boys are in batting practice right now, so I'm trying to make sure I give y'all a really good update, and it's really cool. It's going to be really awesome for me to be able to look back on these videos as well. I wanted to be able to make videos week after week after week, and I know I talked about this before, but I'm just now coming to the realization that this is real life, and I'm so incredibly grateful for this chance. Another thing that's been really difficult for me that I really didn't think would be is being able to tell people, especially because I have so many friends that are still in waiting, and they've been praying and hoping for their miracle too. I guess I always assumed that once I got to the other side, like I had faith and hope that we would someday be on the other side of infertility. The pain and the damage that's caused by infertility never goes away. It instills this fear in you that something's going to happen, or that it's not going to go like you hoped it would, or I don't know. It's been really hard for me. And just in reference to telling, especially those friends of mine who are still in waiting, because I know what it feels like 100 times over at this point to be on the other end of the phone or the other end of a conversation and have someone have to tell me, and it be so hard to tell me, which is another heartbreaking part of it. Like I never wanted that to be the case, but I don't know. I just find myself being really conscious about that, making sure that those friends of mine who are still in waiting, I made sure to reach out to them and tell them. I didn't want them to find out on Facebook randomly, or have someone tell them and me not be able to tell them. Infertility is just it's just such a horrible thing. It's so cruel, and there's no answers, and it's just this stage of waiting that makes no sense. And that's been really hard, which I found to be interesting just mentally and emotionally for me, because you hope and pray you'll get this chance, but you want everyone to have their chances too. Like you don't want anyone to be hurting or just devastated by this just experience in their life of no questions answered and not being able to have their dream come true as well. And so I have a tendency to think a lot about other people and their feelings, which I feel like is a good thing. I don't want to hurt people. I don't want them to be sad or frustrated or mad because this finally happened for us. Lord knows it's been a long time coming, and I'm so grateful for it, but that's a part of the journey that has been really interesting to kind of navigate. And obviously, of course, like everyone has been really supportive and understanding. I just know what it feels like to be on the other end of those conversations and to just feel so heartbroken by such unbelievably good news and not wanting to feel that way, but not having a choice because you're just so sad. And so I am continuing to be a beacon of hope for all of those ladies out there who are still in waiting, who are just trusting and hoping and praying that they get their chance too. I know without a shadow of a doubt that God places those desires on your heart for a reason. He did for me. I've known since I was 7 years old I wanted to be a mom. And, you know, obviously, yes, there were times you can look back at videos where I've just cried and cried because of infertility and just the heartache that comes with that journey. But there were definitely times where I didn't think it was going to happen. And so to be in this place now where we're finally on the other side doesn't necessarily take away all the pain and sadness that infertility instills in you from being in it for so long. And so I'm definitely continuing to pray for all of my friends out there that are in this waiting season and they're still hoping and praying for their chance. it honestly just makes this experience so much more sweet, and I'm just trying to take in every single day and be so grateful. This could be my only chance. Just because we have 2 other embryos that are frozen right now doesn't mean those will implant. It doesn't mean those transfers will work. And so I'm just taking the time to just thank God just every single day for this experience, and I'm just so grateful for it. And I could not be more thankful. And so that's kind of a recap of how I'm feeling right now. Week 22, like I said, it's just been really crazy with the house and trying to get all of that in place. I still have this really crazy cough that will not go away, but I'm continuing to take medicine. It's just that time of year. And so hopefully it goes away soon. But I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.